Hey guys, how are you doing? Hoping you're all okay. So, Facebook, in its wisdom, has decided that we are no longer able to zoom straight into the Facebook club. So, we shall be basically just doing it from Zoom, and then I will be uploading the replays and things into Facebook for you. So if there's anything you guys want to actually chat with me about, I will put the link in the club every week on purpose, ready for you to find, so that you can then come and join me on this Zoom if you want to. Okay, otherwise we shall be just I shall be talking about any questions that I've taken during the week, and I shall be then popping the answers in the group for you. Just noticed I'm really spotty today. I'm really sorry about that. Right, so have you been enjoying the sunshine? I really hope so. It's been absolutely beautiful here today, but I have been stuck indoors because Peter, my partner, is moving in a couple of weeks. So I've been having a massive, great clear out, and that prompted me actually to talk about what we're doing today. So obviously, when we have changes and a lot of different stuff going on, it can be quite confusing for our dogs. So I was going to talk to you guys about what the best way to help your dogs through changes in the home. Okay, so if you just give me a second to find my notes. So changes in the home can, it can be quite unsettling for dogs, especially dogs that are a bit nervous, a bit worried about things. Um, it doesn't take a lot for them to start worrying about other things. And, sometimes any training or anything like that, you might want to put on hold until after they've, all the changes have taken place and things have settled down again. So by changes, I mean like a new person in the home. I mean, maybe a new dog or a new cat in the home. Perhaps you're moving somewhere. Perhaps you've even just swapped your furniture around. There's all different things that you could be doing that will that might affect your dog. So one of the things I want you to do is when you're thinking about changes and how they affect your dog, I want you to think about the things that you can keep the same for them. Okay. So normally I tend to avoid routines where possible, but at times when everything else is different, the things that you keep the same are going to be really comforting for your dog. So, and by that I mean if you always give them their breakfast when they first get up in the morning, make sure you keep doing that. Don't start doing it later just because you've got a box to unpack first or something. Make sure the dog gets what they're expecting to happen. So if you've always walked them after dinner, even if you've got a load of pile of other stuff to do, make sure you walk them after dinner. Try and keep to the same places that your dog knows so that they feel comfortable in their walks and things rather than taking them off to brand new places as well as all this brand new stuff going on in the house. Try and keep some things the same for them because that's going to give them a sense of comfort. That's going to give them a sense of some things are remaining the same, some things that they can rely on. So not everything else is gone, crazy in their world. So if it's possible, you want to introduce your changes gradually. So if you're moving furniture around, maybe do one room. Don't do all of the entire house in one go. If you're decorating, maybe decorate just the one room. If maybe do, just do a bit at a time, maybe one cupboard, if you're bringing in new furniture and that kind of thing, maybe don't do the entire room in one go. Or if you do, then let your dog have plenty of time to go and explore and investigate and see what all the things that you've put in there. Try and use things like Pet Remedy before you make any changes, because then you can spray it after your changes and your dog's still going to feel comfortable knowing that something has remained the same. So another thing you could do is create a safe space for your dog. So I always crate train my dogs. I don't actually shut them in the crates very often, but we, in having their own little space, it's almost like their own little bedroom that they can slope off to. So even in the midst of everything else going crazy and everything else being all over the place, or different colors or different smells, or different people, different animals in the home, if they have that one thing that's theirs and it looks exactly the same as it always has done, they can climb in there and they can feel much safer. So that for me is a crate, but for some people it might be a bed with a favorite blanket in. It might be a certain room in the house that the dogs stay in. It can be even a part of the garden if the weather's nice. If there's somewhere that your dog goes to feel secure and to feel comfortable and to feel relaxed, try and keep that place the same if you can. So if there's going to be any builders or any, banging and crashing and all that kind of thing going on in the house, that's obviously going to be really stressful for the dog. So one of the best things you could do about that is try to desensitize them to things like noises before any of this actually happens. So by the time that you've actually got builders in, by the time you're putting shelves up, by the time you're crashing and banging about moving furniture, your dog's already well used to these things and it won't be so stressful for them. So um, try and do it for several weeks before the big day, before the big event happens, before the big change happens, so that your dog's got time to get used to the idea and to be, happy with all the things that are going to be going on. Because the changes themselves are going to be really stressful. But if you've got the added stress of noises and different smells and different things going on that the dog's going to be afraid of, then that's not going to set them up very well for coping with all these changes. Okay. So mental stimulation is another one. So I'm always banging on about scent work and things like that, and enrichment, and how good it is for the dog's ability to self-regulate, for them to calm down, for them to start feel a bit more relaxed, to be able to cope with things. So do plenty of enrichment with them. Do things that involve sniffing, that involve licking, that involve chewing, even digging. Those things all help to lower their heart rate, help to lower their stress levels. So if you can get them doing things like that, then that's going to help them cope with the stress of changes. So when things are going on in the house, maybe a new person's moving in, maybe furniture's moving about all over the place, maybe there's boxes everywhere. It can be really stressful for us as humans. So our dogs can actually pick up on our stress and then they take that on themselves. So it's really important that you also find time for you to relax, for you to come down from those stressful experiences as well. And even from like high excitement and joy, you still need to regulate yourself a little bit sometimes. So our dogs, as I say, they can pick up on our emotions. So we really want to be setting a good example for them and making sure that we look after ourselves as well. So it might be having 5 minutes longer in the bath. It might be having an extra cup of tea in bed in the morning before you get up. It might be, just chilling out and watching TV instead of always being busy unpacking or always being busy doing something. It might be just taking your dog for an extra long walk and just enjoying the sunshine. Make sure that you have time, just to sort of be calm and to relax, and for the whole change thing not to be the only thing that's going on in your world. Make sure that your dog and you both have a chance for rest and relaxation. So the other thing as well is sometimes stresses in the environment can lead our dogs to behave in ways that we don't necessarily expect them to. So the normally placid dog might become growly or barky. If the dog is expecting, to be able to sleep in their bed, for example, and then suddenly their bed's in a different place, or it's all a bit worrisome for them, you might find they start to struggle with stress and stress symptoms. So if there are any big changes in their eating or their sleeping or their elimination habits, it might be a good idea just to double check with the vet and just make sure that, there's nothing medical going on, because anything that we can help them with, behaviorally, we can do ourselves. But when it comes to health, which can look very similar to stress-related problems, then obviously we need to see the vet. Anyway, Twyla's having a little woof at somebody in my back garden, so I'm going to go and investigate that in a moment. But yeah, so now from now on, the routine's going to be I shall be here Zooming every Wednesday, and if you need to talk to me about anything, if you need me to answer any questions, if you need me to do anything at all, you can either join me here on the Zoom, or you can send me a private message, or just get hold of me, from my contact page on my website. Just get hold of me and I will answer your questions as normal. Okay, right. I will see you all next week. Bye.